Good Tuesday morning. Glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. I'm Julia, along with Samantha Johnson, who is in for Julia Moffat this morning, and Chuck at 6 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Hope that I don't know if you're in the spirit to jump around just yet.
Early in the morning.
It's early. I don't know how strong your coffee is if you're jumping around just yet. But hey, warm coffee to start again, as you said, Chuck, with it being cool out there.
Absolutely this morning. And then this afternoon, really nice. You know, we've got a big week coming up. We heard jump around. They're going to be jumping around doing the Nutcracker at Old National, the Indianapolis Ballet, here in a couple of days through the weekend. And it will feel like Nutcracker Christmas weather by then. But today we've got a really beautiful day on the way. I wanted to show you radar because, again, as we've been mentioning this morning, boy, a lot of people are hitting not only the airport, but the roads for travel beginning today and tomorrow for Christmas because of the weird position of Christmas in the week next week. And notice this is the rain. The same system that moved through here yesterday with rain in Alabama, North Georgia, and flood warning south of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Here's what I'm really watching. These weather advisories, it's a series of them, and winter storm warnings from Rapid City to Seattle and Portland. This is a core of cold air that's eventually going to push to the south. Now, as we check the big board at the airport, and again, we're going to be doing this every morning now the rest of this week, Dallas with delays, and we've got a brand new add to this, New York's JFK flying out of Indianapolis. We've got delays running in excess of a half an hour, so keep that in mind. What we don't have this morning is rain. If you go back 24 hours, we picked up about 3/4 of an inch of rain here, but I don't see any coming in until tonight. So look at all the 37s from Zionsville to Carmel, from Fishers to Martinsville and Pendleton. You're at 36, Indy's at 34, Lafayette at 33 degrees this morning. So it is quite a bit cooler. 14 degrees cooler in Indy. Our wind chill is now 29, but a great day ahead. Don't leave home without your sunglasses. They may be your most valuable accessory. Sunny, mild today, a high of 47. This will be the warmest day for the next 7 to 10 days. Oy, more on that in a bit. Let's get you caught up with traffic. A couple things I want you to notice as we take a look at 6:02 at traffic. If you were with us earlier this morning, we had big problems on I-65 near Seymour. Those problems have been alleviated. And right here, this area between Meridian and Michigan, we keep getting signals from INDOT that the traffic is really slowing down here. Now, again, this is a construction zone in some areas. You can see these boards, but traffic's slowing down to about 25, 30 miles per hour, both eastbound and westbound at 465 and Michigan Road. This is I-74 at Brownsburg, looking really good this morning. Remember, the roads are dry. We don't have any fog around the area. And if you are headed to the east side in that construction zone area south of 74, really good. 69, 65 miles per hour southbound until you reach 82nd Street. Then you hit the brakes. We'll have much more in a few minutes, ladies.
Chuck, we'll see you then. This morning, we are keeping an eye on a very tragic investigation on the city's Near East Side.
Right now, a 16-year-old is under arrest accused of stabbing and killing an Arsenal Tech high school student. This was the scene Monday morning near Randolph and Michigan Streets as Metro Police canvassed this area. The district confirms the victim as Annabelle Trujillo. She was found in a yard on Randolph Street just a few blocks away from the high school.
The suspect was later found at Arsenal Tech and placed under arrest. He was charged with murder and taken to a juvenile detention center. We talked to neighbors in that area who say situations like this make them really anxious about their own children.
I talked to both of them and I was like, I know you guys probably think I'm controlling and I know that you guys get really mad at my helicopter parenting, but it's because I'm terrified because anything can anything can happen at the blink of an eye and at any age.
So IMPD is still urging neighbors that may have any information or Ring doorbell video of that incident to come forward and share that with them. Later today, the IPS crisis team will be available to students and staff at the Arsenal Tech campus. And this stabbing marks the 201st homicide in our city this year.
Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on some of this data from IMPD. So here's what we can tell you this morning.
So we know that the department's numbers show that this is the 5th year in a row that officers have investigated more than 200 homicides. Well, now police say criminal homicides are down 32%, which shows a positive trend, but clearly there's still work to be done.
It's not something that's going to change overnight. But the more hands in the pot, the more individuals putting an effort towards the community, towards the city, the better we will see in our community.
So when it comes to solving these crimes, community input is key. Police say when witnesses come forward, it helps officers track down the criminals and find justice for the victims and their families. You don't have to give your name to give police information. When you call Crime Stoppers, you can remain anonymous. As always, that number 317-262-TIPS.
Well, this morning we're working to find out what led up to a reported self-inflicted gunshot wound involving a child. Police are calling it accidental. We know this happened just after 8 o'clock last night on Old Mill Drive. That's near Mills Road and High School Road on the southwest side of Indy. Police say the child was taken to Riley Hospital and is stable at last check. We're checking back in to learn how old they are and how that child may have gotten that gun. A man accused of organizing illegal parties, including one involving the death of a 16-year-old girl, will make his first appearance in court this morning.
19-year-old Jalen Helm faces more than 30 charges in connection to parties he set up all throughout last year. CU New Yorker is live in studio this morning with the latest.
Yes, good morning, ladies. Investigators say the 19-year-old man organized illegal parties across the city that targeted teens, including a party where 16-year-old Kaylin Washington was shot and killed. Now, court documents say that Helm hosted at least 8 illegal parties between June 2023 and October 2023. Investigators say Helm used social media to promote those parties and collected money for a cover charge. The court documents allege that Helm supplied alcohol and narcotics to the teens, also while allowing armed guests into those parties. Police say back in October, Kaylin Washington was killed while 9 other people between the ages of 16 and 21 were injured in a shooting at one of those parties.
These parties were completely unsanctioned. You had the sale of alcohol and drugs, which is totally against the law. You have people underage drinking. You have drugs being consumed. And then on top of that, you introduce people to these parties that you know are carrying firearms.
Now, Helm is scheduled to face the judge later this morning. He is charged with 31 counts. Now, coming up on Sunrise at 6:30, hear how investigators use social media to trace all of this back to him.
Okay, we'll see you then. See you.
Thanks, ladies.
It's amazing to see how just in a few minutes it can just come down, all down.
This morning, the next phase of demolition at the Town and Terrace housing complex is underway. This month, crews will tear down 8 more buildings on that property. That was a process that started last year, but the work to improve this site dates back more than a decade. After a long legal battle, the city now owns more than 230 of the units, with just 19 left to acquire, and there are now plans in place to redevelop.
A place that says, yes, I'm on the far east side and this is the place to be.
It has to be done though. This has to come down. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts. It's beyond remodeling.
Has that teenager been charged?
Some of the families that call the Town and Terrace home, they will get help relocating to safer, cleaner places to live. The goal there is to finish up demolition by early 2026.
Well, tenants living in a troubled apartment complex in Anderson are starting to move out. Our partners at the Herald Bulletin report the tenants at Bingham Square have been dealing with trash and bugs and mold for more than a year. The chairman of the Anderson Homeless Task Force tells the Herald Bulletin that 4 families are now in new housing. And the executive director of the Anderson Housing Authority says the city paid for families' first month rent in new places, as well as security and utility deposits. Now, Bingham Square's owners now face lawsuits filed by both the Indiana Attorney General and the Anderson Redevelopment Commission.
Finally here, game week for Indiana football.
So the Hoosiers are gearing up for that date with Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, on Friday in the first round of the college football playoff. Both the Hoosiers and the Irish come in with 11 wins, just 1 loss apiece. And these 2 schools are meeting on the gridiron for the first time in a while, since 1991. So IU head coach Curt Cignetti says everything is ramping up for the Hoosiers this week in preparation, but he says he's confident that his guys will attack this game just like any other.
I mean, I think they're all excited to be a part of it. but I think they also all understand what it's going to take to be successful and play their very best football. At the end of the day, it's just football. You know, the game's going to be won or lost between the white lines, and I want them to go out there, fly around, have a little swag, and play the way we can play.
Yeah, fly around, have some fun. Now remember, this game is Friday night, 8 o'clock, will be played at Notre Dame Stadium. Our Dominic Miranda will be there covering all the big moments. He'll bring us pregame coverage Friday starting at 4 o'clock here on 13 News.
And those tickets to the big showdown will cost you some big bucks if you're still trying to get there and see it in person.
Yeah, the cheapest option right now on SeatGeek is a little over $1,000 for 2 tickets. And with fees, of course, it could be even more. So we have learned that Notre Dame is getting around 74,000 tickets since it's hosting that game. IU gets about 3,500 tickets since they're the away team.
Yeah, but they're pretty much accounted for already. The only sales right now are on the secondary market. And as you just heard, pretty pricey. Ooh. In just a few hours, we will hear from Butler's new head football coach, Kevin Lynch. Lynch comes from Ball State, where he's been on the coaching staff since 2016. Yeah, Lynch replaces the former Butler head coach who accepted the head coaching position at Ball State on December 4th. He coached at Butler for 3 seasons. So the introduction is happening at 11 o'clock today. You can meet Coach Lynch inside the Hinkle Fieldhouse Wildman Room. Also this morning, we're getting new information about a school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. At 6:15, we'll share details what we're learning about the suspect this morning.